An intensifying crackdown on feeding the homeless in Fort Lauderdale, and CBS 4's Carrie Cobb was right in the thick of it. Carrie.
Rick, tonight around 5:15, Fort Lauderdale Police arrived at this gazebo at Stranahan Park here, where the group Food Not Bombs was feeding the homeless. The group says it's been doing this for years and should have been allowed to continue. The city's mayor says the city has worked hard to set up feeding zones within houses of worship in the city. As the homeless in Fort Lauderdale Stranahan Park ate dinner on Friday evening, several police officers arrived to make it known that the feeding would have to stop.
You need a permit from the city to conduct something so go ahead and cease the feeding.
The city says several of the volunteers from the Food Not Bombs group refused to provide their ID or obstructed justice and were placed in handcuffs. One was arrested, police said, the other two given citations.
That I'm being arrested right now is just showing how ridiculous this is.
I think people are going to bed hungry because of these people right here.
The rest of the crowd was angry. Volunteers carted away the food and shut down the feeding. Volunteer James Dunson showed us his citation for city food distribution.
It's going to take more than jail or the threat of jail to keep us from being kind to people in need.
It's a scene that's been repeated in Fort Lauderdale this week as 90-year-old chef Arnold Abbott was also cited for feeding the homeless in the city. Fort Lauderdale Mayor Jack Seiler says the Food Not Bombs group could have set up their feeding according to the new law, but chose not to.
What surprises me is obviously they could feed legally just a few blocks away from there. They could feed legally in numerous locations in downtown Fort Lauderdale, so it's clear their intent was just simply to violate the ordinance.
Seiler says he's proud of the work the city has done for the homeless in terms of police outreach, housing, and providing social services. But he says the feedings belong inside, and there are numerous houses of worship doing so.
Feedings should be indoor. Feedings should be in a safe, sanitary, secure setting. Feedings ought to be done in an area where there are facilities available for those individuals that want to eat.
The members of Food Not Bombs told me they will continue to feed the homeless here. At least one member of the group told me she's on a hunger strike until this new ordinance is repealed or relaxed. The city's mayor says the ordinance is working and that they plan to continue to enforce it. Live in Fort Lauderdale, Carrie Cobb, CBS 4 News Tonight.